What's up, guys? Wanted to put this little introduction in the beginning. Don't forget, this video is going to be in part decided by you. Go to the communities page on my channel and you will see a poll to be able to vote on who would win, the Hulk or Vegeta. And with all of your votes, we'll be able to move the bracket forward, and hopefully we can do this for every fight so that the audience gets a say in who would win and who is ultimately the winner of the Tournament of Power. What's up, everybody? Noble Comics here for the first round of the Noble Comics Tournament of Power, where we are pitting together the greatest heroes and villains from Marvel, DC, and Dragon Ball Z in a single elimination bracket. If you watched my last video, then you already know what today's fight is. It's going to be between Vegeta, the Prince of the Saiyans, and Hulk, the Green Scar, the strongest there is. So here on screen is a power chart that I made for all the contestants, and I know it's a little rough. I threw it together pretty quick, just kind of off the top of my head, so it may need some tweaking, but overall I think it's a good representation. As you can see here, power-wise, I think Vegeta has a slight edge. Durability is probably the Hulk. Vegeta's definitely got speed and skill and energy. Intelligence we'll get into a little bit later, but this is an overall chart. Let me know what you guys think about that. So, getting started, let's take a look at the Hulk. So, from the top with power, in terms of power output, we've seen the Hulk perform some pretty extraordinary feats, such as destroying a meteor twice the size of Earth with a single punch, easily destroying planets in his Worldbreaker form, holding a planet together that's tearing apart by jumping down into the core of the planet and holding the tectonic plates together, holding up a 150 billion ton mountain range, nearly sinking the East Coast with a single step, also in his Worldbreaker form. He's punched outside of time. He's destroyed an entire dimension. He has withstood the step of Exitar the Exterminator. This was a universal level celestial who's trying to step on the Earth, and Hulk is holding it up. We've also seen him go toe-to-toe with some of the strongest characters that Marvel has to offer, like Thor, Hercules, who has, quote-unquote infinite strength, Zeus, the Allfather, who can rival, Galactus or Odin, Thanos, Apocalypse, Onslaught, the Challenger, Doctor Strange possessed by the entity Zom, which makes him much more powerful, and he was able to damage Hyperion, if you don't know, is kind of a Marvel ripoff of Superman, and Hyperion could survive the impact of two colliding universes, and the list goes on and on and on, but that's just a pretty brief list. There's no doubt that the Hulk is one of the most powerful Marvel heroes, who only gets stronger the angrier he gets, which does give him an advantage the longer that the fight goes on. For durability, we've seen the Hulk tank some pretty severe hits from the above-named heroes and villains. He tanked a quote-unquote 100 trillion ton blow from his son Scar, if that even means anything. He tanked a whisper from Black Bolt, who was a Skrull at the time, but I think it's still impressive. He survived nuclear bombs, attacks from, Phoenix Force, Cyclops, Thanos, Galactus, and many more, as well as having an insane healing factor. Hulk's durability and power place him at least in the galaxy level, with some universal feats as well, especially in his Worldbreaker form, which I think he would be in by the time that this fight ends. And endurance-wise, Hulk can pretty much fight forever. As far as speed goes, Hulk is definitely not a speedster, but his reaction time is far above the typical human. He's capable of tagging people like Quicksilver occasionally, catching missiles after they are fired, dodging Thor's hammer and Cap's shield, though there have been times whenever he's shown some difficulty landing hits on quicker opponents like Captain America, Wolverine, or Spider-Man, but not always. When it comes to skills, Hulk is no black belt, but he doesn't really need to be. His raw strength and durability make up for his lack of raw skill. If somebody gets close enough and Hulk gets his hands on them, that's pretty much all she wrote. This can be seen in the World War Hulk storyline, where his raw power overpowers people like Silver Surfer, Juggernaut, Colossus, Doctor Strange, The Thing, and pretty much every other hero or villain on Earth who challenged him. Hulk essentially took on the entire Marvel universe on Earth, full of much more skilled people than him, but he was able to overpower all of them, usually many at a time. He was also able to fight Sentry, full-powered and confident, to a standstill, and this is Sentry who, at one point, was able to one-shot a symbiote-infested Celestial. And then he surpassed Sentry as he went into his Worldbreaker form. Overall, when it comes to combat, he is more of a grappler, if anything, kind of like Broly. And he's also kind of similar to Broly in the fact that their power level will be continually increasing throughout the fight. In terms of energy, Hulk has no laser blasts or anything like that, but he does put off insane amounts of gamma radiation. So that's all, but really he's mostly raw power. Intellect here is a little tricky. The Hulk is usually a mindless savage to some degree, but in his World War and Worldbreaker forms, and some others, he is quite intelligent. His intelligence, I think, would be shifting over the fight. I think it probably ends around a 6, maybe a 7. I would guess, but I think he starts at around a 2. So I don't know exactly where his intelligence would line up, but I don't think that's going to be a huge deciding factor. Overall, the Hulk is like an unstoppable object, and I do pity anyone who finds himself in his crosshairs. Moving on to Vegeta, let's look at his raw power. So for him, we can kind of scale to Goku and Beerus, though I'd say he's not quite as powerful as the two. If we remember, though, a lazy Beerus who had been slacking on his training was able to cut a planet in half with the tap of his finger. In the Tournament of Power, we see Vegeta in his Super Saiyan Blue Evolution form, which scales to Goku's Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken times 20 form. Using this, he defeats Toppo, who is to be the new god of destruction for his universe, which is pretty impressive. This should place Vegeta's power in the universal level, which is really no surprise. In the manga, we also see him fight other universal threats like Granola and Moro, where he utilizes his Ultra Ego form. In this form, his power and speed surpass his Blue Evolution form, being the most powerful form that he has. If we back up a little bit, we've seen him do other impressive things like firing a blast that can destroy a planet all the way back in the Cell arc in Super Saiyan 1, and easily reaches the galaxy level when we get to something like the Buu Saga, which is far below his current power level. For durability, we see Vegeta tank hits from Toppo, Granola, Jiren. The hits from Toppo are using the Hakai ability, which should disintegrate whatever they touch, but Vegeta is unaffected. He does get wiped out by Jiren, and in the fight with Granola in his Ultra Ego form, you see Vegeta's body able to tank hits that greatly damage Ultra Instinct Goku, though Vegeta's proclivity to tank hits instead of dodge them does lead to his body eventually giving out. Regardless, he is often able to tank extremely powerful galaxy and universe busting attacks. Speed. Vegeta scales to Goku, Jiren, and the like, and we've seen him fighting at incredible speeds, able to block, hit, parry, etc., at extreme speeds, much faster than the human eye could capture. Vegeta undoubtedly has the speed advantage over the Hulk, to the point that it's really not even worth diving that much into. Skill-wise as well, Vegeta is a master martial artist on par with Goku, though his own ego and pride often lead to him overextending or taking on fights that he can't win. Regardless, his skills speak for themselves here, defeating other powerful, skilled opponents. I will note, in the Broly fight, these skills are on display, as he essentially toys with Broly in the beginning, being more skilled and powerful, but as the fight goes on, even Vegeta's superior skills aren't enough on their own to take on the rage monster that is Broly, who was getting stronger and stronger as the fight went on. But they did allow him to hold his own for a while. Not to mention just the fact that Vegeta has been training his whole life, right? Constantly. And was called a combat genius by Piccolo. Energy-wise, Vegeta, like other Dragon Ball Z characters, he can fire laser beams, energy attacks like the Big Bang Attack, Gallic Gun, and many, many others, which, again, were in the planet-destroying capabilities back in Super Saiyan 1 in the Cell arc. He was also using God of Destruction techniques, so all of his powers are kind of furthered. The Hakai ability I talked about earlier essentially erases someone from existence, disintegrating them. However, we saw that when Goku tried to use this against Zamasu, it didn't work due to his healing factor, so I imagine the same would apply to the Hulk. Another ability he has, called the Force Spirit Fission, can be used to reverse fusions and siphon away energy. Maybe this could be used to take away the Hulk's energy. Maybe it could be used to turn him back to Bruce Banner, though that's pretty unclear at the moment. It could be useful, but it's really hard to say. Vegeta also has the ability of flight, And this combined with his ranged energy attacks definitely give him a versatility advantage over the Hulk. Finally, when it comes to intellect, Vegeta is no moron, but he's often pretty rash and headstrong and ends up paying for it. He is a skilled combatant who can learn very complex ability like those listed above. So, overall intellect, at least when it comes to combat intellect, is probably higher than the Hulk, but, you know, I don't think you can say that for certain. Overall, I think the fight comes down to whether Vegeta can outlast the Hulk and if he can put him down early enough in the fight. Like I said, Hulk has the advantage the longer the fight goes on, getting stronger and stronger. While Vegeta definitely has been seen to have some endurance issues, especially when he's tanking heavy hits, like he likely would be against the Hulk. Though I can see the argument where Vegeta's power and speed advantage allow him to defeat the Hulk before he can reach a Worldbreaker level form, or even be able to spirit fission him away, or just have it to where the Hulk can't even touch him at all due to his extreme speed advantage. I can also see the Hulk, who has superior durability, be able to withstand these attacks until he reaches a power level to contend with Vegeta. And if he can tag Vegeta or get close enough to do some damage, Vegeta may not be able to recover. If the Broly fight is anything to go off of, this outcome may not look the best for Vegeta, though I will say the Hulk can't fly or shoot lasers and likely doesn't have the speed that Broly does. I know who I think would win, but let me know what you think. Under the communities tab on my YouTube page, there is a poll right now for you to go vote on for who would win. It's going to be open until next week, until round 2, and if enough people vote, your decision will decide the fight and move the bracket forward. And hopefully all the fights can be decided this way, really letting the viewers call the shots. But if there's like no participation, then I'll just pick the winner. But hopefully you guys can do it for me. So let me know what you think, and thank you all for watching. I will see you in the next video.